Hi, this video is going to demonstrate how we use the AIM quoting and enrollment platform. So once a quote has been generated, over on the left-hand side here, any carriers that we have available on the e-application platform, you will see this red Apply Now button. So there are several carriers in the quote results page. The ones that have the Apply Now button, you can submit an application directly on the quoting tool without having to go to that carrier's website. So I'm going to hit Apply Now. Now the first question it's going to ask me is to verify either my writing number or my producer number. That way we can validate that you are an appointed agent and you are able to write for that subsidiary. So it is going to ping that carrier's database to validate. Now, the first time you try to submit an application for a carrier, it will ask you for your producer number or your writing number. After you have submitted it the first time, it will save that producer number in the database, so you don't have to enter it every single time that you try to get into the e-app process. Now, it will validate you every time, so it will take a couple seconds here just to validate that you are able to write in that state for that carrier. So you will see that it allowed me into the system here, my name and my producer number automatically carried in. The unique feature about this e-application is going to be the same process for every single carrier that is on the e-app. The same look and feel, the same process, no matter which carrier or product you are going to submit an application for. You will notice here on the right-hand side, all of the quote details carried over. So the plan I did, the gender, the age, the tobacco status, if the household discount was in the initial quote, all of that will carry over here. I can get any initial documents. So if I needed just to download the application or the Medicare guide, I do have that ability here, or I can send somebody an email with these documents. So as I go through the application, the first process is going to be to select that underwriting type. So I can select full, open, guarantee issue. What's great about this tool is that depending on what I select, the system is going to validate that what I am entering is correct. So if I try to submit an application, for example, if I try to submit an application for a open enrollment, but based upon my Medicare and Part B effective dates, it's going to tell me that that is not my enrollment situation. Maybe I'm a fully underwritten or I'm a guarantee issue situation. The system will notify me of that. So here I'm just going to put in my Medicare Part A and Part B effective dates here and hit continue. So this is also going to take into consideration all of the macro rules. So if you try to submit an application for a Plan F or a Plan C, the system will actually try to get you to switch a plan and notify you that that individual is not eligible just based upon their Medicare Part A and Part B effective dates. So what this application is going to do is to make sure that each application that you have submitted is being submitted in good working order. So as I hit continue, it is going to generate the different sections here on the right-hand side. So these are sections that I will go ahead and have to complete each one. So it did validate that my underwriting situation is correct. So from here, I can go through and start filling out the application. You will notice here, based upon my Medicare Part A and Part B effective dates, it is going to block out that Plan F for me. So I can't even switch to a Plan F if I try to. So we'll just start by filling out the application. Mailing address. From here, we're going to do home phone. See how it automatically carries over my date of birth and my age, my gender. Now, if I would type in a height and weight that were not within the requirements, it will notify me of that as well. Maybe I entered in a date of birth that was different from the age that I originally quoted. If that age and date of birth do not match, it will change that rate up at the top to a rate that would reflect the date of birth that I did enter. So as I go through each of these sections, once the section has been completed, there will be a green check mark. If there are any sections that are incomplete or you still have to fill out, that's where you will see this yellow icon here. We'll go to the next section. So you can move around within the section. So if you wanted to complete them in a different order, maybe they were going back to grab some information for you, you can continue submitting and skipping through the sections, or you just can use the continue button and go through each section accordingly. Now, in this certain situation, I am doing an open enrollment. If I was doing an underwritten where it was asking certain health conditions or medications, it will notify you if you do enter in any conditions or medications that would be considered a decline. Anytime you answer something incorrectly, or if you did enter in a declinable drug or declinable health condition, answered yes to one of those health conditions, there will be a notifications tab up here at the very top notifying you that you have entered something incorrectly or there has been an error on the application. Some carriers will block you from even submitting the application if it is not in good working order. But again, you are notified before you try to submit an application. Previous or existing coverage information. Go through. Now, this takes some time of going through each of the different sections. This is just verifying that the information that you are entering is going to take you on to the next step. So there is an option if you wanted to print the application for a wet signature, you could do so. In this case, I am not. We're going to fill out the method of payment. This will be an automatic bank withdrawal. I can choose from either my checking or my savings. From here, you can search for any of the individual's routing number. We can choose the account number, first name, last name. And then the outgoing method is going to be an automatic bank withdrawal. We can choose a particular day of the week if I wanted to do so, last day of the month, first day, so on. We'll go ahead and hit continue. This is the to be completed by producer section. So this is where you can add any notes to the underwriting. So if you did answer a health condition a certain way, you can add some notes. You can upload any supporting documents that you may need as well. So once you've selected the underwriting or the document type, you can upload the file and then just make sure you hit add document there. So delivery, we're going to deliver to the applicant. Yes. Yes. No notes, no documents I needed to add, so I'll go ahead and verify the application. On this verify application, it's going to allow me to look at an overview of all of the different questions, just make sure everything is in good working order for me. If there were sections that I did not complete, it would notify me up here that these sections were incomplete. So I do see all of these have been complete. As I'm going through, if I need to go in and edit something, I notice I made an error, you do have this edit section where you can edit the information. So from there, I'm going to lock and e-sign. I would have the option to also print for a signature if I needed to. Once the application has been locked, it will go into verifying that everything is complete and that I am going to give my consent for the electronic signature process. So you can review this information with the individual. Just going to agree and then hit continue. From here, we're going to go on to the signature. So there are a couple of different ways in which to capture an electronic signature. If the applicant is present, you can provide the applicant's identification information as far as the mother's maiden name and the last four of their SOCH. Or if the applicant is not present, I can do their email signature link. So you do have those options. Let's say that they are in the same physical location. The applicant is going to provide identification information. The agent does have to go through and open up each of these documents. This is just verifying that you have reviewed all the information. And then this is your option to print any of these documents for your record, so you will have all of that. You will check mark, I have read, received, and kept a copy of the above documents, and then the applicant's signature is going to be their mother's maiden name, and then their last four of their SOCH. Verifying, hit apply e-signature. This is going to carry over all of your agent information, and then you'll hit apply e-signature. From there, we are going to hit sign application. So just because I don't want to submit this test case, I'm not going to actually sign the application, but when you do hit sign application, it will give you a policy number that you can reference when you are going into that carrier's agency portal. You can write that policy number down. You can also give it to the individual so you can go back and review that application with the carrier if need be. So all of your applications, once they have been submitted, maybe they're incomplete, you will have an e-applications section within your portal where all of your applications will store on here. They'll store up to 60 to 90 days depending on the carrier. So if you ever needed to start an application, but for some reason you could not finish it, it will have that it has been incompleted, and you can go back in and always edit the application. In this case, my status would, if I would have hit submitted, it would have a green submitted button, and then it would shoot out that policy number and then allow me an application to view that submitted policy. So this is where all of your applications will store. Again, you can always search, you can edit them, you can trash them. But that's essentially how the e-application platform works. Again, it's going to work the same no matter which carrier you are working with. Very user-friendly, easy to use. If you have any questions, we're always happy to help answer them.